This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service, broadcasting live from the KFAB Penthouse Studio high above Underwood Avenue in beautiful downtown Dundee. This is the only show in the metro area that talks about business expansion, real estate construction, economic development, and really anything related to Omaha becoming more vibrant, more prosperous. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. Without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a legendary real estate deal maker in the flesh and all-around living legend, Trenton Magid.
You are too kind, Mr. Beals. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, Trenton. And hey, we got to share a little something that's kind of fun with Grow Omaha listeners today. Trenton and I had a chance to preview the new Wiener Schnitzel restaurant. It is just northeast of 72nd and Grover, just north of Interstate 80. It is the first one in Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, anywhere around here. Closest existing locations are in Denver and Champaign, Illinois. And this is the legendary hot dog stand that started in 1961 in Southern California, classic California place. They have about 300 to 350 locations, mostly California and Texas. And it opens today, lunchtime, I think around 11 o'clock or so. But Trenton and I got to preview it. And yeah, for fast food, I'd say it's pretty good.
Absolutely. Quick service restaurant. And they've got all beef hot dogs, but they also have different types of hot dogs, hamburgers, chili fries,
chili dogs, beef dogs, cheese dogs, all sorts of things. It was really good.
They're also part of Tasty Freeze. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they bought Tasty Freeze. Local franchisees, we got a chance to talk to them, John and Rachel Steyer. And then from California, they're taking this Nebraska opening seriously. We were there at 4 o'clock, and we were with the CEO, the CFO, the CMO, the COO. We're like, gee, mini. And they said, hey, we really want to make a splash in the Midwest, and this is our first store in the region, and they're taking it very seriously. So go give it a try if you like hot dogs. It was a fun little place, and it should do very well.
Check out our Facebook page, too. We got Jeff and I were honored. Apparently, these are in high demand. They might be collector's items. We've got the great one. It's a plush toy of the Wiener Schnitzel mascot. So check it out on our Facebook page. Traffic's going to skyrocket now. Well, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com, located at 114th and Davenport, just south of Dodge. Help you with your loan, conventional, VA, FHA. They have some specialty loans as well. And, buying a house, one of the biggest things you ever spend money on for most people, and it's stressful. Eagle Mortgage's job is to take a lot of that stress away from you. They sit down with you, find the best solution for you, and not beholden to one bank. They shop the market to find the best loan for you. EagleMortgageCompany.com. Well, first up, Trenton, the Hilton Omaha Hotel is nearing completion of a 15,000 square foot outdoor multi-purpose event space. It's going to be called Cass Street Green, and it's basically artificial turf. When you go, it's almost done. I went and saw it earlier this week, and you go by it, there's artificial turf, but they're doing this. This is where they'll put up tents for maybe tailgate things before sporting events at Charles Schwab Field. They can have weddings, outdoor corporate meetings. So it's this very versatile space. It also happens to be a story. There's a story about it on growomaha.com. So just go there and you can read about it. But the Hilton, it's the largest hotel in Nebraska by number of rooms. It's connected to the CHI Convention Center. Now this will be more meeting space for them. So we got that going for us.
Which is nice. Next up, we have condo development in Omaha in 2024. It was bad. I mean, it was non-existent.
Yeah.
In all of 2024, according to Bob Daly, who's an attorney at McGrath North who studies condos, condo expert, he sends us this information every year. In all of 2024, in the city of Omaha, there were a grand total of 11, count them, 11 condo units. And of those 11...
residential condo units.
No, only 3 were residential.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we got to get on this. So would-be condo developers out there, there's a great opportunity for you. The state legislature just a few years ago passed a new law that makes condo development much more advantageous for developers, much safer, reduced a lot of the legal risks that were there. And so I hope that there are some would-be erstwhile condo developers out there who are really making some plans right now, because there is a monster hole in that market. We're building thousands and thousands of apartment units right now, and essentially no condo units
What you're saying is the former mean streets of condo development aren't as mean?
Well, that's what you just said, but I'm not sure if that's what I said.
Okay.
In Common Community Development is seeking $700,000 tax increment financing loan for a $19 million project called Poppleton East. This will be located right on the southeast corner of Park Avenue and Poppleton Street. Really cool mixed-use infill project there. 120 new apartment units, 4,000 square feet of commercial. Looks like we're going to be, phase one will be a 4-story, 51-unit project, and then there will be more to come. Construction is slated to begin in March and end in September.
So there's a subsidized rent project, right?
I think a certain
Rent control?
percentage of it will be for residents. 28 of the units are reserved for residents making at or below 50% of the area's median income for that project.
Okay.
All right, we have the historic Carnation Ballroom at 2711 North 24th Street is going to be redeveloped. It is 6,300 square foot space, going to be commercial with 5 divisible spaces for office and retail use. No tenants have yet been announced. The city designated the Carnation Ballroom as an historic landmark in 23. It was originally a bakery store, but it became historically significant as a ballroom established by Mildred Brown, founder of the Omaha Star. And completion is anticipated on that project for the fall of 2027. And then Ronco Construction and along with White Lotus Development are making progress on the Nova. This is a 5-story building. It will have 74 apartment units, 20,000 square feet of retail space in Millwork Commons, north of Charles Schwab Field. It's just a 40,000 square foot site, so real nice infill project there. It's part of what is just becoming a burgeoning Millwork Commons area.
Absolutely. So certainly
It's
with
gone
that parking
vertical.
garage the city's going to build.
Yeah, it'll be right south of the future city-owned parking garage, which has not started yet, but we believe that's starting this year, if I understand correctly. Millwork Commons, though, blowing up because you've got the Dizzy Mule project wrapping up. You've got the Millwork Hotel renovations, which are going to start this year. You got this project that I mentioned, Nova, has now come out of the ground. They've got the elevator shafts and stairwells going up. You've got the Frame, $45 million project west of the Ashton, doing foundation work right now. So really exciting times for Millwork Commons. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, because we have Heath Mello with us. He is the president and CEO of the Greater Omaha Chamber. And whenever we have Heath on the show, we like to talk about various development projects. We're going to ask him about economic development related things in the unicameral, which just started this year's session, and a lot of construction projects and everything else. So stay with us. We're going to have Heath Mello on here in a moment. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton. It's Grow Omaha. It's brought to you by Dingman's along with Cheer Athletics. And we'll be back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. So we just got the list that we talked about earlier, if that's cool. Yeah. Okay. Did you guys stay in town for Christmas and all that?
We always go to Des Moines. My wife is from West Des Moines, and so we always go there for Christmas Day and usually a couple days afterwards to visit and spend time with her family. So nice couple day getaway.
Not too far of a drive.
Couple hours and kind of get over there and come back and It was great. It's always good. In-laws are relatively easy people to spend some quality time with. So I always enjoy it. We do Christmas Eve with my family.
That's going to stick to the tape.
Yeah, they're good people. So
hey, it makes it. I got lucky in that regard too. It makes a huge difference.
So we
hear horror stories from some people.
We do Christmas Eve always with my family, and then make the trip over there. And so yeah, it was a good relaxing. I was able to kind of unplug a little bit from chamber work for a couple days, and then get back in the swing of things after we got back. So it was good.
Is there a lot of fundraising efforts going on with the chamber right now, or?
So I had a little. That's why I said I got a little bit of time off. We kind of. I was. We didn't get a chat about this last time when I was on with the mayor, but I've been on the road essentially from Labor Day through the end of the year, essentially kind of meeting with investors. You weren't here yet, but I told Jeff. Partially sharing our new 3-year economic development strategy that we'll be releasing publicly at our annual meeting here in a couple of months. So I've been kind of meeting with investors all throughout the fall, and I'll be doing that as well through Q1 and probably parts of Q2 as well, balancing that and working the legislature a little bit too. So. And it's been going well. I mean, members have been they've been super supportive. I think the strategy works. I think people see it. It works really well.
Are the stakeholders, is the next generation of stakeholders kind of coming up, the Walter Scott area, we've lost some of the older guard. Has the focus changed at all?
I think there's been some new. There's been kind of a transition in some form or another. A lot of new CEOs and presidents of companies. Beth White is our new chamber chair for the year, Union Pacific president. Other people. I'm trying to think other major new presidents and CEOs. That are engaged with our exec committee. Jeff Russell, President CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield, is new, coming from the Des Moines area.
30 seconds, Jeff. Thanks.
Chanda Chacon, CEO of Children's Nebraska.
God, they're expanding.
Yeah, there's there's a number of folks that kind of are, I would say, that are kind of been ascending to leadership, senior leadership roles that are new inside the chamber more. But it's still, I think.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Engaged for a while, staying engaged.
NMLS number 2376.
News Radio 1110 KFAB is with you anywhere, anytime, on demand. With our free iHeartRadio app. All your music, radio, and podcasts.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid sitting here with you, and we appreciate you joining us. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics. That is the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. What is all-star cheer? Well, it's only a revolution in sports that is sweeping the world right now and going to be an Olympic sport in 2028. And we have one of the finest all-star cheer facilities in America in Omaha, near highways 50 and 370 in Papillion. They're eventually going to be going out to Gretna in a couple of years and building a state-of-the-art facility there. But right now they've got a state-of-the-art facility in Papillion. If you're looking for a place for your kids to get involved in competitive athletics and learn all sorts of life skills, look no further than Cheer Athletics. You can find out more at caomaha.com. Well, we have Heath Mello with us today. Heath is the president and CEO of the Greater Omaha Chamber and is nice enough to join us a few times a year and talk to us about economic development and Omaha's and metro area's progress from his perspective. Heath, good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Trent. Glad to be with both of you.
Well, we appreciate it. And we'll have to... Looking back at what's been happening lately, we got to start in the center of the city, even though we're going to talk about a lot of different things. But the progress we've made in the urban core in the last year and the projects we have coming up in the urban core, pretty exciting right now. You could say historically unprecedented.
It's always great to talk about what's happening in the urban core. And I'd say in 2024, there was a lot of positivity around some major projects I know we've talked about and highlighted in the show. The mayor's highlighted as well, some fairly big projects around housing. And I can kind of think of anything we talk a lot about. I think there was somewhere along the line, I think maybe 7 major housing projects that were announced over the past year. You total those up with some of the projects in the end of 2023, and nearly 2,500 new housing units in the urban core, which is really moving us towards that goal of wanting to add 30,000 more residents in the urban core as part of the Chamber's urban core strategic plan. And so that really is kind of in a nutshell, really exciting to see that portion of the urban core development continue to happen, because we
So
know
it's 30,000 residents by
30,000 jobs, 30,000 residents
by 2030.
by 2040.
2040.
Close, but we
He just bought himself 10
close.
years.
Yeah, say that's really close. But I think we've been very, very excited to see, the economic development work that happens with business attraction, business expansion is vital, but we know you got to have the housing component as well to be able to bring the residents to the area. And this was a year that we finally saw that kind of catch fire a little bit in concert with what we saw in 2023. And so that kind of feels we've got some momentum in the housing component as well. That being said, there recently, and it really was really just this past week, there's one of the big projects that's outlined in the Chamber's urban core strategic plan is the redevelopment of the 30th and Dodge interchange. And the Chamber partnered with the Urban Land Institute, Nebraska chapter, to engage what is called a TAP, a technical assistance panel, where they bring in a variety of different experts, planners, real estate professionals, engineers, to engage with various stakeholders in the community to kind of help do a visioning process of what that kind of area could look like in terms of a major redevelopment, so to speak. And I can't share too much because it's not quite done, but I got a quick sneak peek of what that potential major redevelopment could look like. And it's really exciting, let's just say, in terms of what one of the big moves as part of our strategic plan could ultimately look like in terms of a very exciting mixed-use development in terms of part of the urban core. And once again, when you see, I think, a variety of different stakeholders come to the table, the state, the city, the private sector, the philanthropic community, all leaning in a space where they want to see jobs and people come together in terms of trying to grow the urban core. This experience that I got a brief kind of glimpse earlier this week with the Urban Land Institute's TAP project reinforces what the momentum we're going to continue to see, I'm convinced, in the urban core moving forward.
It's always fun to see the stakeholders. I remember when Steve Martin was head of Blue Cross Blue Shield, he was in charge of bringing other insurance companies to Omaha. The Chamber's always been good about that. I think I was on the retail committee. I'm trying to remember what the name of those focus groups were.
Tag.
The Tags, Target Advisory Group, I think. And there's a bunch of different ones. And we were tasked with donating our time, bringing in people. Just like in 2008 when I was involved in selling the Tender Heart Treasures building to the first data center, which was Yahoo, engineers and the CFO services type guys that they come in and state incentives and things like that. It was neat that people contribute their time for the betterment of their community, even if it's bringing in their competition.
It's funny you say that, Trenton, because really, the business attraction work that the Chamber does, our Economic Development Council, in the last year has really kind of started to refocus a little bit of that work and trying to engage some of the tags that we used to have in the sense of trying to re-engage them a little bit in that work, realizing we have some opportunities with some of these industries inside the urban core, but also some industries that we feel are significant opportunities in the greater metro region. One of those major industries that we're really significantly exploring more and more now in the next 3 years is going to be the defense industry. We really feel there's a tremendous opportunity in the metro region with the significant opportunity down at Offutt Air Force Base, the tremendous investments that have been made at Stratcom, and the reinvestments that have been made at the base, in part due to the leadership of our federal delegation, particularly U.S. Senator Deb Fischer, Congressman Don Bacon, that we can bring more defense contractors to the region through an expansion of various missions and an expansion and more investment of federal funding. And so bringing in some of those defense contractors as part of a defense tag, so to speak, is something that we've been working on and exploring a little bit at the Chamber, and trying to re-engage some of those strategies that that the Chamber has deployed in the past is something that you'll likely hear us and see talk a little bit more about in 2025 as well.
Talking with Heath Mello, President and CEO of the Greater Omaha Chamber. And Heath, on November 5th, the voters in the city of Omaha approved a bond issue to expand CHI Health Center Omaha, particularly the meeting space on the east side of the building. Talk to us a little bit about your thoughts on that project and what that extra meeting space could mean for collateral development in that part of downtown.
Well, there was a lot that happened on November 5th, and the one thing that probably I cared more about than anything else was the city bond issues. And I think most folks who chatted with me and chatted with folks at the Chamber knew that this was something that a number of folks involved at the Chamber were really engaged in, particularly through the Building Omaha's Future Committee. And when we saw that the bond issues across the spectrum passed with over 70%, it really was a great night, and particularly the CHI Health Center expansion, because we know anytime you're able to see a $200 million public-private partnership of this magnitude pass with 70% of the vote from the city of Omaha voters, where it can bring in over $1 billion of convention business, that you've got a city that truly embraces economic development. And I think that was something that we felt really great about. Mayor Stothert felt really great about. And I think the business and community leaders who were part of that Building Omaha's Future Committee, who were out and about talking about this, particularly Lance Fritz, who chaired the committee.
He came on here and did a great job.
He did a great job. I listened to the show. He was fabulous. I mean, folks who are out engaging the community, trying to reinforce this is something that wasn't a tax increase. We were able to do this in a very strategic way as a community, and embracing the work the philanthropic community is willing to help to put money on the table to help grow the economy as well. It really is, I think, a testament to what Omaha can do when the business community works with the city, works with the philanthropic community, to really try to ensure that Omaha is competitive in a space like this, because we knew we were falling behind. We were truly behind other communities in the convention business. I mean, that was something that Mecca and Roger Dixon were very transparent about, that we were losing business. If we didn't do this, we had a chance to lose up to $15 million a year right off the bat to other competitive cities if we did not expand the CHI Health Center convention space. And so I think, if anything, it was the one thing that probably a lot of folks pay a lot of attention to politics, and I get that. And on November 5th, that was the one thing that I was probably more proud of anything that the Chamber had been able to do, working with a variety of business leaders, working in concert with community leaders, the city overall, the mayor, the council, everybody who supported this work, to really see that the convention center expansion happen. And now it's, to some extent, the project's moving full steam ahead. And I think we're excited to be able to see that economic growth come from it.
And further than that, it speaks volumes from the outside, businesses that are looking to expand into Omaha. When you can tell them the success stories about how the citizens and the stakeholders, the business community, see the future of Omaha and endorse and put their money where their mouth is, that says, hey, I want to go there and I want to expand my business there as well.
It does. I mean, I think when you look at it, this was outside of the building of the original convention center. I mean, this was the largest bond campaign, both from an engagement perspective and a financing perspective, the city's ever seen. And to some extent, between the mayor and the business community, this was something that was really unprecedented. And I think being able to go out and see the victory that it had. I mean, the 70% was, I mean, I think we like to highlight the original convention center passed, it was a 51-49. This passed with over 70%. So, I mean, showing that the community now is embracing this to this level and that we're able now to go out and highlight this across the country is really just, I think, another feather in the cap in terms of being able to highlight where Omaha is moving right now in terms of our economic development work and where we want to be able to grow as a region and a community.
Well, and hopefully it will lead to a third convention hotel down the road, but that's another project to work on.
Another project for another conversation.
But being good stewards of the money, what's nice about it is that Roger Dixon and everybody involved in it, the last 25 years, they've taken the money that they've been given and be good stewards of it, and that allows them to be trusted.
You know, that was the one thing I'd say, Trent, and I did share that. You know, every time I could share this with anyone, you know, Mecca turned back revenue to the city every single year, and I think that's something that taxpayers and residents of Omaha should be proud of, in the sense that this unique partnership between Mecca and the city, that they give money back every single year, which no one thought that would happen. And so when people cast that ballot for this expansion, they're casting a ballot to expand something that's generating revenue every single year back to the city, which is truly great for the city, but it's great for our economy. And I think that's from someone who thinks about economic growth and economic development every day. I think that's really, I think, the biggest win for everybody.
Well, that voice you're hearing is Heath Mello, President and CEO of the Greater Omaha Chamber. We're going to keep talking with Heath about a few things when we come back as we break for the news. But you're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
You didn't choose to get
So I definitely want to hit
when you choose Dingman's
the million population mark, and I definitely want to hit Unicam. Unicam. Yeah. So, and then anything else we can fit in will be pleasant.
Anything with a streetcar.
If we can fit it in, but I think we have to get because I think we're going to hit a million.
If that's the worst thing that happens to me today, you're
guaranteed.
And that's the 8 counties or what?
The 8 county MSA. Yeah. It's
playing my
pretty
first
much guaranteed with the way the Census Bureau changed.
What is Mark?
It's when they release county population. Once we know county population stats, you know metro population stats. So that'll be an epic day for Omaha, because for 21 years on the show. We just turned 21 yesterday.
Oh, geez.
We're legal to drink.
Legal to drink now. That's it. Look, we should have taken
It'll be a good
Saturday morning shot.
I know. What were we thinking?
Could have done. I mean, I don't know. Fireball would have been. We could have done like a.
If we break into
Chata.
Saddlemeyer's, we could break into Saddlemeyer's office, because I know he's got some bourbon in there.
Could do bourbon, a rum chata. I mean, could have done something there. I mean, like baby.
Oh yeah, we have a couple packs of smokes from his office.
We'll leave those for Gary, but we'll take his bourbon.
Yeah, we can announce that.
But at any rate, why did I say that? Oh, for 21 years we've been talking about when we hit a million. The March is going to happen.
All right, here we go. All right. Thanks.
We got to give you something to do.
Yeah, right. I'm not busy enough already.
Get time-saver traffic updates with Lucy Chapman in the morning and Steve Parker in the afternoon. This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. News Radio 1110 KFAB.
And welcome back to the show. I am Jeff Beals, sitting next to my friend Trenton Magid. We are brought to you by Cheer Athletics, along with Dingman's Collision Center. 4 metro area locations. Take very good care of your automobile. Doesn't matter whether you get the key or the door ding or something more serious. They'll take really good care of you. They even have mechanical services. For metro area locations. They often win that Best of Omaha because they are the best of Omaha. All right, it's time for your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week. Noddle Companies, under the leadership of Jay Noddle and his outstanding team of real estate professionals, really building up Omaha. They are a big part of the Omaha built environment.
Yes, they are.
And they do projects all over the country, but we really care about their Omaha projects. Exarban Village, Builders District, Rivers Edge, Steel Ridge, so many others, headquarters buildings they've built like crazy. Well, today's news is Zaytuna? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Zaytuna? Zaytuna?
Sure.
It's a very good Mediterranean cuisine restaurant inside the Inner Rail, which is in Exarban Village. And they're going to go get a big-time location, 7204 Jones Street in the former Cops Pizza restaurant space.
Wow.
Zaytuna is a family-owned business, opened in 2020. They also have food trucks that they have. Looks like they have one stationed on South 13th Street. They have one stationed in Bellevue. And their menu features popular items such as falafel, chicken shawarma, and baba ganoush.
Excellent. I'm
Did
there.
I say that right?
I'm there. That
Sounds
great.
delicious. I'd go there in a heartbeat.
A lot of these food halls are really incubators, and so like when something goes really well
Yeah.
there, they want to break out, either keep that location or have a full scale version.
Yeah, and that's what Interrail's all about. I mean, in a lot of ways, they want people to graduate from it because they're constantly looking for the next concept to bring in, like you said, Trenton Incubator. All right, that's your Noddle Companies Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight. You can find out more by going to noddlecompanies.com. We have Heath Mello with us, President and CEO of the Greater Omaha Chamber. Making his quarterly visit. And Heath, we got a very exciting thing happening in March. And that is there's a 99.99% likelihood when the U.S. Census Bureau releases its county population estimates. For the first time, the Omaha metro area will be above 1 million people. What does that mean? What does that do for us?
Well, it's been a long time coming, Jeff. I think I know you and Trenton have talked about this for a while. I know this has been talked about in the community for a while too. I mean, anytime a metro region hits that million population mark, it really separates the metro region from kind of the mid-sized cities to kind of being viewed now as kind of a major metro area. Just that million population mark really kind of puts you somewhere.
It helps with federal incentives too, I think.
You just got to let me get there, Trenton.
Okay, go ahead. I'm so excited about this, ladies and gentlemen.
So excited about this million mark.
He likes to call that either a segue or throwing you a softball.
But no, that's the biggest thing is kind of it really kind of puts you in a different echelon at the end of the day. And one, it's a branding, it's a marketing thing at the end of the day for a regional perspective. But yes, it does from a pure grants perspective, a federal funding perspective. It moves you into a different category as well. And I think that from a regional metro perspective and dealing with federal agencies, that is something that will be beneficial to us as well. I think that's something, and particularly in terms of the work we have and able to do with our federal delegation has been terrific. Congressman Bacon's been a terrific advocate for us. I think to some extent Congressman Feastra on the other side of the river and in western Iowa as well. So in that particular sense, yes, there's additional federal benefits in terms of federal funding that comes with hitting that million population mark. But I think there's something that happens just in the mental space in terms of when you think about the Omaha metro space being we're a million population mark. You then start thinking yourself as a big city or a big metro region, and big cities, big metros start doing big things and start thinking about doing bigger things. And I think that's kind of the mentality. I think I hope when that announcement comes, we start as a region start talking a little bit more and more about that. When you hit that million population mark, you start comparing yourselves more and more to other million population regions. You're not comparing yourselves to smaller Midwest cities and other Midwest areas. You are being compared to cities and metro regions that are going to be considerably larger to you because you're over 1 million in population. So in that sense, it's exciting in one way, but I also think it also puts us in a position where I would say it's also the start of probably the next chapter in some form or another, where our growth opportunities are going to continue in another way. That population growth, we hit that million mark, we can't take our eyes off the ball of wanting to continue to grow. I mean, we're going to want to continue to grow, and what's that next benchmark in terms of where we're going to need to compete in terms of population growth to compare ourselves against Kansas City, other metro regions that are over 1 million, clearly that we've got to try to get 1.5, 1.6, 1.75 in the future. But and if anything, we want to bask in that announcement when it happens. I think we want to be able to kind of celebrate a little bit, take advantage of what we know will be some unique opportunities as a region.
It's always the first million that's hardest to get.
It is the first million. That's the hardest to get.
That's what Warren tells us.
Getting to 2 million, no problem.
But then I think it really is kind of a what's next at the end of the day, and where do you continue to plan and plot and move forward of how we continue to grow.
Well, may God be with us, because the Nebraska legislature is now officially in session, Heath, and we know you spent 8 years in the Nebraska legislature. But the chamber every year has obviously some special interest and important interest of what happens in the UNICAM. What are the chamber executive board members and yourself hoping to get out of this year's session?
Well, Jeff, that's always a great conversation starter the first week of January, when the legislature convenes. This year it's a 90-day long legislative session. A couple things that listeners should be mindful of. The legislature starts with a little bit of hurdles that they're going to have to jump over. They're going to have to deal with a significant budget challenges that they're going to have to address by the end of the legislative session, which typically limits a little bit in terms of what they're arguably able to do in terms of taxes and spending, unfortunately. And while the chamber, we typically focus on some major priorities, tax policy, economic development, and workforce development policies are really where our key focuses are at. This year we're looking at transportation infrastructure, energy policy, regulatory issues as well. We really, I think at the end of the day, have our eyes focused on some things that we really want to be able to see happen. Want to make sure that we're going to remain competitive in terms of what's happening on the economic development landscape. I know the mayor has shared this, and I've shared it before back in 2024. Tax increment financing is a tool that we use in the metro area that really helps the Omaha region grow. And we want to make sure that the legislature does not do anything that impedes our ability to grow as a metro region. And that's one thing that the chamber will be very vigilant on, ensuring we educate our state senators and ensuring that they don't pass any legislation that limits our ability to grow through tax increment financing, because it really is a tool that provides what we believe is massive amount of return on investment to local taxpayers, and really grows our economy in a very stable, very transparent way across the metro region. We clearly, tax policy, we've advocated for years in terms of reducing the tax burden across the region. I think to some extent we know that there may be limitations of what can be done because the state's got to be able to balance their budget, but we'll be a mindful eye on that. And if anything, we just want to make sure that we are going to continue to ensure that workforce and talent attraction is going to be a significant issue. Our chamber members, both our major employers as well as our medium and small employers, are constantly talking about the need to both upskill existing workers, but also our ability to attract new workers and new talent to the region. So we've got to ensure that state public policy is helping us do that, and that will be something the chamber is really focusing on here in the upcoming session.
Well, Heath, we appreciate you joining us on the show today, and we appreciate everything you and your team members and your board members are doing to make Metropolitan Omaha even better than it is. So thank you so much for your leadership, and thanks for your time today.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Trent. Glad to be here.
Heath Mello, President, CEO, Greater Omaha Chamber. We're going to take our final break of the hour, and when we come back, it'll be our Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round. A lot of things on the list, so stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB. So do you have time to stick around after the show for a few minutes?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
Good. Yeah. Got a few things after the show I wouldn't mind lob in your direction.
As long as Trent gets me that shot of bourbon. Look,
Whatever you need.
We're just going to pick the lock at Gary's office.
and we'll find our way in there. This is a short break. This one's
might have a key.
pretty quick one.
No. I don't go in his office. It's a scary place.
If you go unauthorized into Gary's office around here, you won't wake up tomorrow morning.
Pretty much. I wouldn't go.
You won't wake up tomorrow morning working for KFAB.
Hey, you do both know, you both did see or know, or maybe saw that Ann's retiring, Ann Branning's retiring.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
So yeah, Ann, we announced at the December, I announced at the December board meeting, Ann Brannigan's retiring.
She's been there for a long time.
37 years.
Yeah.
Chamber, she's retiring. Retiring.
What was her title?
Senior Vice President of Member Services.
When's her last day?
Tentatively, it's the end of March, but it's dependent upon when I hire her replacement. So she's gonna kind of.
Sorry, Ann.
She's retiring this spring, tentatively the end of March. But she's
mentioned that. I'm going to put that in the
Senior Vice President of Member Services.
Yeah, I love Ann.
But she'll stay on to kind of consult with her replacement for a period of time to just because I'm here for 37 years. Similar kind of what unlike what
She's gonna be the longest 30 seconds, Jeff.
Employed.
Kind of like Larry Gomez or Rod Mosman.
Yeah, same kind of thing.
Yeah,
I mean, same kind of thing with Larry and Rod. So
yeah. Oh, Ann has done so much for this community.
Oh,
and
you can have a little.
Yes. Oh no, we've got like a couple parties. Yeah, that kind of.
I'll put something in the people section of which you guys sponsor.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we have to. I mean, and like if anything, like let me know. Like if you need help, I'll write. I mean, it's been such. I mean, it's been an outpouring.
I'd almost kind of write a whole article.
It's been an outpouring.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do that when the retirement happens.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
1110 KFAB and KFAB.com and iHeartRadio.
It's the Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round. Thanks to Perkins Kreitzer Construction for making this possible. You know, Dave Kreitzer is the guy in charge over there, and he does a great job of letting us know some of the cool projects that Perkins Kreitzer Construction is doing. And one of them right now is Popeyes Louisiana Chicken. You know, Trenton.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Trenton, I love Popeyes. And it all goes back to in college. Trenton went to school in New Orleans at Tulane University.
Graduated and everything.
There were times we were worried, but it happened.
It was a curve.
I went down and visited you once when you were in college in New Orleans, and we had some delicious Popeyes chicken down there. A few other things. So anyway, Perkins Kreitzer Construction building a Popeyes chicken, 168th and Birch Street. That's just a block or two south of West Maple Road. Should be open middle of this year. And the building is mostly closed and coming along. And that's just one of the many things that Perkins Kreitzer Construction does. You can find out more about them by going to p-cconstruction.com. Canali Indian Cuisine opens tomorrow, Sunday, January 12th, in Clock Tower Village, Westroads. This is the former Sebastian Southern Crab space. We also have Everbowl, a craft superfood restaurant chain specializing in acai bowls and smoothies. It is at 2913 South 168th, next to a Godfather's Pizza. Opening set for late February or early March. This is a California-based chain with nearly 100 locations nationwide. Closest existing locations are in Kansas City and Des Moines, Iowa. Early Bird will open a new location in the former Paradise Bakery and Cafe space at Village Point in April. A breakfast and lunch restaurant started in Omaha in the Blackstone District, now has locations all over the metro, plus Lincoln and Des Moines, Iowa. Early Bird just opened another restaurant at 173rd and Center just in the past fall. Trenton, this is a big one. Everyone loves Tasty Pizza, which is located at 60th on South 60th Street. This is where it used to be a barbecue place right there by tracks and all that sort of thing. They're expanding. They're going to tear down kind of a pretty eyesore-looking industrial space at 49th and North Saddle Creek Road and build a very attractive freestanding pizza restaurant building. Completion planned for the fall of 2026. This is close to the Homie Inn. A lot of, let's face it, Omaha listeners need landmarks. Homie Inn. They're like, oh, yeah, we know where that is. Isla Del Mar Restaurante has announced plans to open a third location. We just don't know where yet. They haven't said.
Wow.
Thank you for that contribution. So the Mexican restaurant is located at 5101 South 36th
I was
Street.
biting my tongue is what I was doing.
Be nice. And 2502 South 133rd Plaza near 132nd and Center. Etal Vital Living will open a second location. Actually, they just did yesterday at 7639 Cass Street. This is a smoothie bowl, vegan smoothie bowls, cold pressed juices, dehydrated snacks. The existing location is 2323 North 24th Street, pretty close to 24th and Lake. And like I said, they are now open at 76th and Cass.
I'm going to try them for my next cleanse.
I'm not sure you're in their target demographic there, Trenton, but you can go give it a try if you want to branch out a little bit.
All right.
Casa Jalisco, a family-owned Mexican bar and grill, opened at 142nd and Fort recently.
I'm going to go there for another cleanse.
And Riddle's Jewelry plans to open a store late this summer at Shadow Lake Town Center in Papillion. The store will occupy a corner bay in the middle of the mall's small shop area. Riddle's has stores existing in Westroads and Oakview. Music's playing, which means it's time for us to get out of here so Trenton can start his cleanses. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, Cheer Athletics, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction. We'll chat with you again next week at 9 right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.